This video is made for adult collectors because yeah, Grimlock is not a T-Rex here.
Transform!
Pain. So with the new HasLab coming out, where's my pizza party, Hasbro? I wanted to look at more Robots in Disguise 2001. I got a bunch of stuff from then, but the one I've been messing with the most since getting it was Landfill. That's his name, right? Yeah, that's his name. This is a very weird set of toys. This is a combiner made of construction robots, but they're good guys. It's 4 of them, and one of them is Grimlock. These are some strange toys in how they look, feel, transform, combine. It's just so odd. The alt modes I'm going to start with because that's what Grimlock turns into in robot mode is like, ooh, okay, we'll talk about that later. But the alt modes look so nice. I love the way they gel together with their more toyetic looking colors. My favorites are High Tower and Heavy Load, which is evident by them both being the same mold essentially. I love the gradient on Heavy Load and the amount of paint that he has on the front. High Tower is very red with not as much color breakup, but I do love the silver on the front as well. His crane doesn't really rotate though, without like taking it off and then plugging it in rotated and all that. I kind of wish it could just turn smoothly by itself. Wedge here is a very nice self-contained bulldozer. He is smaller than the rest, but like, he's still cool and compact, and fun fact, I used to have a knockoff of this for like a few years before it decided to disintegrate on itself. And then there's Grimlock. The other 3 are solid, but this one kind of feels eh. The legs don't tab in super securely, so don't squeeze him, he'll come apart. And the rotation of the upper section isn't as smooth as I would like it to be. It does unclip things when you turn it around. But the paint's nice, it's green, which I believe was the inspiration for RID 2015's Grimlock's color scheme. But as a team, they fit so well together. Now let's make them goofy robots. Alright, the transformations are pretty unique for like construction vehicles. They aren't what you'd expect, especially when you get to Grimlock because he kind of stinky poopy. But we'll get the easiest out of the way. Just so... I'm drawing a blank on this guy's name. What the hell is... How did I forget Wedge? To get him, you just sort of fold these out like that. Bring the shoulders forward like so. Then you pull the shoulders up and then rotate the arms around. That's pretty neat. I thought you were going to pull the arms down, but no, you pull the shoulders. Get out of frame. Remove that. Just bring the legs out like this. Their knee pads will just sort of fold up. Do that on both sides. Like so. Open this up. Flip up the head. Close it up. And you can take this section. You can just plug it in onto his back. Actually, we'll do it this way. Plug it in onto his back. Like it does in the show. I just, whatever, do that. And then there you have Wedge. And his orange is making my autofocus hate life. Anyways, let's do, he fell over. Let's do these 2 morons now. So we'll start with the dump truck. He doesn't actually have a dumpy and never mind. So you don't have to take this off, and I'm not going to. I'm going to pan the camera up actually. You're going to just lift that up. Rotate this 180 degrees, and then we're going to take the legs and extend them. First unpeg the arms and then extend them, and then they may pull out from these hinges here because they don't actually snap in. So fold it back up, split the legs, fold out his immensely massive feet, like I don't understand. Oh, and then you fold out his arms in a very awkward way. Oh, come on. Bring this back, rotate this around, fold this up, open, flip out his murderous looking face, and there you have, see, he doesn't actually have, sorry, that's a bad joke. High Tower is great because you take this off and you forget about it for now. So his transformation is the same, we just pull this out, and his crotch doesn't split apart unlike Heavy Loads. So it's very strange. Then you want to do the same sort of awkward shoulder thing. Oh, come on. Get his feet out. And his heels. Ah! And now he's headless. Now you take this piece back, and you just want to fold this up, rotate the head out, peg it into his back, like so. Then this sort of hugs the hinge, and folds down, snaps into place, and then you shrink him. And then just for less awkward sake, I'm taking that off and putting it in his hand. There you have heavy load. Not heavy load, that's the other one. High tower. Now we come to Grimlock. Oh boy. Grimlock, you basically just take everything and bring it out. Like that. Then I'm going to bring this section out. You want to assemble the crotch, which is a lot of hinges. Lot of hinges. And we're going to build the legs. The legs are very similar to, like, if you ever messed with a Combiner Wars Constructicon. Because this is probably where they... Ow! Open this section up. We're going to remove the scoop. We're going to split this section here. Bring that down. That'll fold out the head. Bring out arm number 1. Flip out hand number 1. Bring out arm number 2. Flip out hand number 2. Come on, you misshapen pee-pee, get into place. And then you take this and you just like bring that around, plug it into here. He's all sideways because his crotch. Stand up straight. Oh, I really hate this toy. I really hate this Grimlock. It is so bad. Okay. There you go. Oh, forget it. So they look... Yeah, this is where the weird comes from. Oh god, Grimlock, what happened to you? These 4 look so strange. Heavy Load's facial expression looks like he wants to kill me. Like, it's the most murderous smile I've ever seen. It's weird. And the 2 same mold guys have large ass feet, so they look strange proportionally. I mean, they all look strange proportionally, but their feet are huge. And Wedge has no heels, so he likes to fall a lot. Same with Grimlock. A lot. Just like in robot mode, the team dynamic is kind of broken now. They don't look like they fit well together, and they're just weirdly disproportionate to each other. They are purely there to facilitate 2 other modes. And so there isn't much to talk about in the robot modes because nothing new gets revealed here other than their heads. But that's not the real main selling point of this set. It's the combination. Oh wait, hang on, articulation. So you don't buy these for their posing. They're very weird, and they're each one's different from each other, except for these 2 because they're the same toy. But Wedge here has head rotation, ball jointed shoulders, butterfly joints, elbow bend, bicep rotation because of a ball joint. Hips can go forward that far, they can go back, in and out. Thigh rotation because there's a thigh cut at the above the knee. You have a ratcheted knee bend, and that's it. But due to the fact that he has like no heel, you get him into a pose, you're like, oh yeah, let's get him into this sick ass pose. And he falls over. So he's fun. Grimlock is very much the same way, with the fact that he has no heels, so it's hard for him to stand. His head rotates left and right. You have to move these up out of the way for the shoulders to rotate. The arms are there. You have a bend at the elbow. This is such a stupid toy. Like, none of this actually wants to sit in place properly. It's very annoying. The crotch comes apart. The hips can go forward, back. They can go out that far. You have above the knee swivel because it's a ball jointed knee. And that's it. That's all he can do. Okay. Heavy Load and High Tower are the same dude, so we're just going to do Heavy Load here. Shoulders can rotate. They cannot go out. You have ball jointed elbows, so you get a bicep swivel and an elbow bend. The hands can move forward. The heads can rotate as well. Hips can move forward and back, in and out. No thigh rotation. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee. You do have a toe joint and a second toe joint. So there is that. But like, I find they like to just look awkward when standing there. Okay. They only look good. Like, they all only look good just standing there. So there's no real point to getting them into like hyper articulated things. Maybe if we get a legacy one, I'd love to see some more movement in them. But yeah. As it stands, they're pretty much just... Oh, except for Grimlock. He never looks... Oh, you... Okay, now let's make them a giant robot. Alright, so combination time. I'm going to do the stock configuration, but there are others, and I'll talk about that later. But we'll get High Tower prepped, which is get rid of this. And then, actually, Heavy Load, you take that off as well. Get rid of that. These 2 transform the exact same way. So we're going to do High Tower this time. You want to take the arms, or take this section first, and take it off. And fold all this up, like that. Bring the arms in, like so. Basically, you're just getting him back into alt mode. And you just squeeze this together to peg it all into place. Then we're going to fold this up, like that, and then plug it in here, like so. This does also open, by the way. There's like a little gun in here. I forgot to mention that. He does come with a pistol. But once you have that, you then just bring this section up. Like so. You can also peg this in up here if you want. But I personally just kind of like it down here a little bit. I don't know. I just think that looks nicer to me. And then you fold this down. Now I'm also going to fold down the back ones as well because it gives them extra heel support. And that's how you do a foot. They're both basically the exact same. So now that we have the legs, we're going to take these sections here and bring them up. This is basically what the core of the combiner is surrounded by. This is actually very cool, but I'll talk about that later. Now we're going to do this fucker. Yeah, but I'm going to leave him like this for now because we're going to take this off. We're going to fold this in. This is actually going to, no, it's this way. Bring that down. You're going to want to rotate that down 90 degrees. Split all of this. Then this comes out again. Leave the head folded up. Then we're going to rotate the shoulders up so that these things are facing upwards. Let's do that on both sides. That's just how I'm going to leave them. They get annoying. And then you basically rotate these 180 degrees like so. I'm going to fold up the ankles, rotate these around, or the toes, I should say. Pull out the wrists. And there you have the arms for the stock configuration. Now we bring in wedge, and wedge you just kind of turn back into a bulldozer. But then instead of putting the treads where they're going to go, normally we're going to do this. Compress them, bring them out. We're going to fold the robot head in. There we go. And then bring out the combiner head. And then fold out his core attachment, which is different from the rest. So let's get these cores attached together. So you're going to want to rotate them so that the little gap is facing forward. And then bring it down 2 clicks, down 2 clicks, slide it in. Take Grimlock here and just sort of slide him in like that. Then you take wedge here. You want to put him in at an angle so that everything lines up, spin it around, and then plug it into Grimlock. There's a little peg at the top there. And then we're going to raise up, fold that down. Then we're going to take this section here and we're going to plug it into the head like so of Grimlock. We're going to take this crotch flap and plug it into here to become the waist piece. You take this pegs into the bottom of the arm like so. And then this goes into the hand like that. You sort of just bring this segment in like so that pegs into there. Then you flip this forward and a gun comes out. And that's him. That's the combiner. That actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it's a bit awkward to look at and to mess with, but like it's very interesting in how it works and how they're able to take 4 members and make a coherent-ish combining team. The colors here really pull out that toy feel more so than they did when they were separate, but it still kind of works. Like overall, it feels very much like an early 2000s toy, and like nostalgia-wise, I love that. And the proportions are neat, though the head really does just look like it's sitting on a platform and it's a bit flat. The feet are just wheels, and the balance can be a bit at times, but the cool part is the feet are omnidirectional, so you can fold out the other feet at the back to act as heels, and he stands quite well. But the coolest thing about this combiner is the fact that it's built around this rotating core, so you can transform the limbs and just rotate it around to match. It works in theory. In practice, you just got to take wedge off and do it manually. But it's a neat thing, and it does kind of work, though my favorite configuration is the stock one. And also, for some reason, mine doesn't like to stay together if I do any of the other ones, so I'm just going to leave it as Grimlock being arms, because that just works the best for me. Though, its posing is still a bit limited in this mode. Okay, so the articulation is not the greatest here either. That seems to be a theme with this toy, which is interesting because, like, Sideburn, X-Brawn, Prowl, they're all like great. RID Prime, Magnus, even Magnus has knees, but like, yeah, weird. Head rotates. This this thing can move up and down. It can swivel. It's basically just on Grimlock's head. You do have this spring-loaded thing that comes out. The shoulder sections can move out of the way to accommodate the arms, which can rotate. They can go in and out. They're on all these hinges. So you got butterfly joints. You have an elbow bend that bends about that far. Bicep rotation. The fingers can open and close. No waist joint, just because of how the combining works. The hips can't really go forward because of this stuff here. They can go out and they can move backwards in like a weird angle. He does have thigh rotation. You have a knee bend, and then toes can go up and down. So he has some posing, but it's not like the lower legs they aren't exactly usable because of the fact that the hips don't move forward due to wedge here, and his like brick down here just doesn't allow for that. So that's a fun set. Not perfect by any means, but it's nostalgic to most and it looks fun enough to warrant going after, but the aftermarket for it is way too expensive. So is it worth tracking down? Well, with RID 2001 toys being more and more prevalent in Legacy, like they got the HasLab for 2025, I'd assume later on we would get a new version of the build team, but this still does kind of work well with the rest of Legacy as it stands so far. So I'd say it's worth it. I just wouldn't overpay. I think I paid around $100 for this whole set. I wouldn't go any more than that. But that's my look at RID 2001 Landfill. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.